In this video, we will be looking at the steps that's required to set up Kong API gateway instrumentation. This we will be achieving using the OpenTelemetry plugin that's given from Kong's side. If you look at the architecture, this is your Kong API gateway, and this is our provided Astra instrumentation scripts that will instrument the incoming HTTP requests and send it as an OTLP span, so the Astra traffic collector, and the client can access the backend service as it is. Right. Now the prerequisites are that the Kong gateway should be installed and running, and the Astra traffic collector, that's the OpenTelemetry collector, should be configured, and you need to have the Kong manager up and running, and that's usually in port 8002. If not, use these steps to restart the container and expose it at 8002. In my case, I have my container running in my local host. Let me go back to my Kong manager. So that's 8002 exposed, right? Let's go to the this thing. Yeah. So now if you go to the quick installation, we need to set a environment variable to enable the HTTP instrumentation, right? If we do not enable this tracing using these steps, these two commands, the entire setup is useless. You need to enable tracing in order for the trace to be sent to the traffic collector, right? Now how do we enable this? We can exec into the container, Kong container, using your docker desktop or your exec command on your terminal. So there's a environment variable you can set that will affect this tracing. No, not that. Yeah, that will affect your tracing instrumentation's value. Instead of off, it will be set as HTTP client. We need HTTP client for our use case. There are many other settings, that is balancer, that's all, that's request. We are concerned about the HTTP client. So we go down and we execute this command, export Kong tracing instrumentations is equal to HTTP client, and next step is to reload the Kong. Now once Kong reload is done, we'll get a message saying Kong reloaded. Now we are good to instrument it. Right. Now we can choose to apply this OpenTelemetry plugin in two different areas. One is global area and one is scoped. So depending on your use case, whether you want to apply this plugin to all services, routes, and consumers, you can use this plugin. Else you have to go for scoped, that will select specific gateway, services, routes, and consumers. Right? Okay. So let's go to my plugins. Before that, let me just show you that my backend is up and running. Kong.localhost. Yep, my backend is up and running. I'm getting a response of message okay. Alright. The next step is to configure the OpenTelemetry settings. Let's just go to the plugin section. How do I get this? You just go to new plugin and search OpenTelemetry, and you enable it, and you will get it on your screen. So I have an existing plugin to demonstrate, so I can just press edit to show the configurations. So there are the 4 protocols in which you will accept for instrumentation, right? You can add or cross any of these. This is the traces endpoint, that is your Astra traffic collectors endpoint, which essentially is this one, Astra traffic collectors endpoint. If you want to add a logging endpoint, right, you can add a logs endpoint as well to that. Keep your propagation.default format as W3C. If it is something else, please change it. So these are some advanced settings that you would want to configure, that is your timeout and your batch span count. So I have added a custom header in the span, which I just wanted to try it out. You can either add more or you can clear it. Alright, so come back to your propagation.extract. You need to set this as W3C, propagation.inject as W3C, and all of the settings is up to your choice. You can modify it. One important setting down is your sampling rate. You need to set this as 0 or 1 or something in between. Sampling rate is basically something which acts on chooses to act on a particular attempt. You have to set the sampling rate between 0 to 1, 0 and 1 inclusive. In this case, I have typed 1. One basically means that I will instrument all the requests that's coming into the API gateway. You can keep it as 0 to instrument none of the requests. You can keep it 0.5 to keep it 50% of all the requests coming, right? Okay, so I'm setting as 1. And coming to the most important part, that is your resource attributes. You can add more resource attributes, but these three are essential for our setup to work. So the first is the sensor version. You can basically create an attribute with saying you can just add an attribute and add a value for it, right? So sensor version should be 1.0.0 and your sensor ID should be the one which is given from the dashboard while you press the Kong integrations creation, right? When you at the time of creation of the Kong integration, you will be given a sensor ID. You need to paste it here, and the service name will be standard Astra Hotel plugin, right? So once you're done, you can save. Right, now we go to the next step. Let's come down. I have addressed all of these steps. That's your global or scoped, and you can select your protocol. I have addressed all of these steps, advanced settings, all of these steps. Okay, so important, when you're troubleshooting, let's say it's not working, right? You first have to check whether your collector endpoint is accessible from Kong, and just ensure that the sampling rate is not 0. Keep it 1 for debugging purposes and for your use case as well, and just make sure that protocols match our service configuration. So once that's done with the OpenTelemetry plugin, we need to configure one more plugin which allows us to use our Astra's scripts, Lua scripts. Let's go down. We need to create the Kong functions plugin. Let me just go to the Kong manager. We can press a new plugin. I'm just going to say functions, Kong functions, right? So that's going to be your Kong functions post plugins. Okay, so in this, when I press edit, it will be the same interface for you. We have to attach 3 scripts in 3 different fields. Okay, so there are different phases in which Kong acts. We are instrumenting at each phase for a number of OTLP attributes, right? Copy this and paste it in the access field. So it's the same thing, right? Okay, now we go to the next one. We copy it. We go to the body filter, and we go to header filter, and you copy this as well, paste it in header filter. Okay, and you can just press save. Okay, so now that's done. Your entire setup for Kong API gateway instrumentation is ready, and you just need to save configuration and make sure you did all the steps correct. Now let's say we are refreshing this in a different path that's my backend is going to accept. Say test demo. So I got message okay for that as well. So once that's done, you can go to your dashboard and go to API endpoints. Yeah, so I have set a filter so in my Astra's dashboard, I can clearly view the particular request that we sent. If we open this, we get more details, and that's how your Kong API gateway instrumentation is performed. Thank you.